Hey guys, it's Aiden here, making another video. I'm live today. I did a live stream this past week and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time doing that. So I decided to make another live video. I did an announcement. I didn't announce it, but that's okay. Just kind of wanted to share what I've been up to recently, what I've been doing, and just kind of whatever shows up. So I just invite anybody to come in and ask questions at any point in time while I'm live streaming, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. Um, hey, how's it going, Sean? Um, so yeah, I guess I'll just start off with sort of what I've been up to since my last video. Um, Things have been going well. I kind of decided to increase my hours at work, so I'm working full time basically now, more than 30 hours a week, to try to get some more money. So I've been working on that, and things have been good. Let me move my mic over so you guys can hear me better. I just realized my mic was away from my face. Can you guys hear me okay? I work at Home Depot. So that's the new job I got. I used to work at a museum. Now I work at Home Depot, so I'm a sales associate. So that's what I do now. And just do YouTube on the side for fun. Yeah, I just like sharing with people, sharing my mind, sharing my thoughts, and just sharing. I think it's important to share the things we struggle with, but also the things that we succeed with, because I don't know. There's a lot of people out there, and I don't think a lot of people shared their psychosis experiences, and their depression and stuff like that, and all the hard things. So I figured it would be nice to share that with people. So that's why I decided to kind of do YouTube and stuff, just as an outlet for me, And if people like watching, that's cool too. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you have for me if you want. But I guess I'll talk about yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice to be able to share our voice, our experiences and stuff like that, so people can see. Um, so I guess I'll talk about. I've already talked about intention a little bit, but I think that more and more, I think that intention and sort of like where we're placing our focus in life is important, because it sort of attracts certain things into our life. And so um, I think prayer is a very important tool for that. And that's something that I've been doing. I haven't been doing necessarily meditations, but prayer I've been doing to sort of get myself connected with a specific state, or like um, a specific state of receiving or gratitude. I usually start my prayers or my spiritual practices with gratitude and appreciating what I do have, knowing that um, this life is a gift and this life is a blessing. And, there's so many things that are good in this life, even though there's always some things that we want more of, some things that we want to work on. It's always like I always try to start with appreciating what I do have, because that's a very powerful foundation to work off of. Once you have that gratitude and establish that sense um, of abundance, then it's easier to work from. You're not working from a place of judgment or scarcity. You're working from a place of abundance and feeling like you have what you need, but there's things to work on. But it's not like a judgment. It's more just like, oh, these are things that I need help with, or I need assistance with. So that's kind of something that I've been focusing on more recently. I've been really focused on like my physical life, as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, focusing on sort of what I've been doing in my physical world, I guess, not so much my spiritual world, but my spiritual self is sort of like coming back in with the prayer and meditation. Well, I haven't been doing meditation that much, but I guess prayer is a form of meditation to some degree. It's placing your focus on specific intent or intention, which is powerful. A lot of people like a lot of people think that prayer is like a just a Christian thing or just like a religious thing. I don't think that's the case. I think prayer it doesn't have to be associated with religion. It's basically like tuning yourself to a specific vibration or frequency, or tuning yourself to a specific kind of um, feeling or emotion. And so, if you pray for assistance from Great Spirit, or you pray to a specific um, for a specific thing in your life, you're basically allowing that part of yourself to be activated, allowing that part of yourself of your life to be recognized and acknowledged. It's not just sort of ignoring it, so to speak, bringing it into awareness and bringing it into the present moment. And I think that's important practice to have. I think it's important to have goals and important to feel like you have something to be appreciative and work towards and improve on. But it's also important to feel that gratitude and respect for what we do have already. So that's something that I guess I've been working on recently. And just knowing that there's greater forces than possibly imagine. Like there's so much more out there than like what we can conceive of. And I know I've talked about this in other videos, but like a bee can see in ultraviolet, plants can sense things that are different than what we can sense. And to think that like we can perceive everything, or we're omniscient, or that we know the forces that play into our lives 100% is ridiculous. And to think that the only 5 senses that we have, like touch, feel, like smell, taste, hearing, seeing, that those are the only senses that we have, I think that's also ignorant too, because some people can sense things before they happen. They can sense emotions and thoughts and stuff like that in other people, like psychics. I believe that psychics are real. Like I'm able to read people pretty well. Like if I see somebody, I can pretty much. I'm not always accurate 100%, but I can usually tell what's going on with the person, sort of what's wrong. Well, not wrong, but like what traumas are like sort of dragging them down. Not the specific traumas, but that there's something happening there. It's real. Like if you tune into that aspect of yourself, anybody can be an intuitive or a psychic. It's just a matter of practice. That's something I've always been interested in. So that's something that I've kind of developed over time. In high school, I would kind of talk to people and be like, hey, like what's going on? And I'd like address the issue. And like, I was like a pseudo counselor, I was like starting my counseling career early by like talking to my classmates and figuring out like what was wrong with them and how to fix them, which isn't the right strategy, but that's something that like I did when I was younger. And that's something that I've always been interested in, sort of understanding people and how things impact people and how to heal from those things. The patterns and the archetypes and things like that. Those things fascinate me. They always have, and they probably always will, because there's always more to learn. I'm learning something every day, and it's just a really like interesting path to be on, I guess. And yeah, let me know. I've got 5 people watching, so if you guys have any questions for me, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking about random stuff, which if you're staying, it means that you like it, which is good. Or you just, left your computer, which is also possible. But yeah, intuition is important. I think our society in general doesn't really pay attention to intuition. Like it kind of discredits it. That voice in the back of our minds, that voice in the back of in our heart that sort of speaks and sings is ignored because we need to follow these structures, these rules, these things that we need to follow, and we don't want to like carve our own path. People get stuck. They get stuck in their flow. The flow doesn't happen anymore. As soon as they stop listening to themselves, they feel that sort of feeling of dread, and they don't listen to that, and they don't listen to like, hey, maybe this isn't the right step for me. that's when they start to numb themselves because they don't feel that experience. Connor Murphy. Sounds familiar. Let me see. I'll check him out. Let me pull him up. It sounds like a familiar channel. Yeah, when people stop listening to their hearts, they numb themselves, and then they stop following like what they want, and then they get stuck and they start to get depressed and stuff like that. Connor Murphy. No, I haven't seen his channel before. Yeah, he's going manic. So it's his recent episodes that.
Okay, so first of all,
I'll have to check it out another time, but yeah, it happens. It happens to people. People go manic, and it's hard to deal with. It's hard to realize that you're manic when you're manic. It's hard to come down. Oh yeah. Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us, I'm sorry that he had to go through that. It's difficult to sort of accept when you're going through something like that it's happening to you, or that there's something quote unquote wrong, or that there's something out of the norm. So it's not easy, which, I'm glad that people, I've had a lot of people watch my videos and give me good feedback on my videos of like that they don't feel that they're as alone, after watching some of my videos, that like they can relate with my experience, which is kind of nice to hear from people. Like my hope was just like, my ultimate goal is just like helping me heal from these experiences, to just share them, and I'm glad that it had a greater impact than what I was hoping for. So that's nice. And it also like inspires other people to share too, I feel like, because there's another YouTuber that actually posted his experiences with psychosis because of what I had shared, which is kind of cool. It's very healing to share with people, So yeah. But yeah, I don't necessarily have like a whole lot to talk about necessarily. I just like, I think this live platform is really fun. I don't know. It's just really cool that like just to share with you guys directly, and just know that you guys are able to ask me questions, because I know there's a lot of people that have questions about things. So it's cool to be there in that way. But my hope is that people, will find what they need to heal, that they won't get stuck on stuff. Everybody gets stuck. I get stuck too. But being able to flow and to find new things, and when you get stuck, to realize that you're in a place that that you're stuck before, and be able to flow into it. Do I think my psychosis was drug induced? Yeah, I think both of them were. I had my first psychosis from DMT, so I had the experience, which was, the experience itself was like really magical and like really eye opening. And it was beautiful, but I was in a state of mind at that point in time, and in that point in my life, that was very fragile. Like I was already pretty like off the rocker. Like I was very into analyzing everything and seeing all the patterns in the world, and like finding underlying meanings of everything. And so I was very sort of abstract, like in my head, and focused on like all these different, I don't know, just kind of getting stuck in things. And so having a like smoking a ton of pot and then having a DMT experience while I was high too was just like put me right over the edge. And I think that was just like the perfect storm to kick me into a psychotic break. And then the second one was more of a gradual process, but I was smoking pot like pretty heavily for like a few months, and then I stopped cold turkey for about like I don't know, 2 weeks, and then it triggered my psychosis after I had like an intense experience with somebody. So yeah, I think both of them are drug induced or drug related psychosis, because yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, you never know until you do it, but the question is like, is it worth the risk of actually, doing it? Because I mean, I would love to have experiences with psychedelics and stuff. I think they have enormous healing potential and enormous potential for spiritual growth. But the risk is that I end up going to a psychosis and it impacts my family, it impacts my life, and I don't think that's really worth it. I can grow in other ways. I can have other experiences that are pretty awesome. It doesn't have to be through drugs. It can be through other things. And so it's a bummer, that it is the way it is, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. Yeah. I think that psychedelics are powerful tools, but you have to be like responsible, when you use them. So some people aren't, and some people just can't take it. I just can't, as much as I wish I could, because DMT was like probably one of the most transformational transformational experiences, or like different kind of experience I've ever had. Like you don't have that kind of experience just not taking a drug. Do you have any advice or opinion about knowing if you're in a good place mentally to try a type of psychedelic? I don't think I'm really the person to ask that question, because I haven't had a ton of experience with psychedelics, but just know that there's risks. Like people say like there's no risk with psychedelics and like it's all good, and you can only have positive experiences. It's not true. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure that you are not taking too much too quickly, that you work your way up. That's basically what I've learned from all the research I've done. Start at a low dose. Make sure you're doing it in a place that's safe. If you've had a psychosis before, know that there's a chance that you're going to have another psychosis because of the experience. And, just know what you're taking. Don't just take anything. And know, yeah, you have to know what you're going into. Like, do a lot of research before you like do a psychedelic. Like, you should really feel comfortable with understanding sort of what may happen, what to expect, and what kind of setting you need in order for it to be a successful trip. So if you're like kind of unsure, I would do more research until you feel pretty confident and you feel like you have a place that feels right. And if you feel like there's anything that you're kind of hesitant about, or it doesn't feel like it's a good space, just don't do it, because it can be bad. It can have like a negative, you could have a bad trip, or you could have a bad experience, or it could trigger something. So it's really important to be in a safe space when you do these experiences. I'm not advocating for these experience or taking drugs or anything like that, but I just want you guys to know that you have to be careful. Yeah, it's like take it seriously. Like in traditional societies, they had a whole ceremony around it, and it was guided by a shaman, who was trained and who had practiced with the plants for many, 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 many years. So these things aren't just stuff to play around with. Like I mean, some people do, but it's dangerous, Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can be intuitive and you can have other kinds of experiences. You don't need drugs. I mean, this is just one life. You know, you might have another life where you have experiences with psychedelics and stuff. You know, this life is pretty short, whether you know, when you really think about it. And if you're not designed for psychedelics in this life, then, you know, maybe you're not meant to take the fast track with using plants to help you get to where you want to go. Just realize that, you know, there's other ways to grow and experience life, experience spiritual development. Life will throw what it needs to throw at you for you to grow. You know, don't go out of your way to like find psychedelics. If you feel like it's a calling, if you feel like it's meant for you, then like that's your choice, you know. But don't be like, oh, I need to make this happen, because once you start to like make things happen or like force things to happen, that's when you start to get into some dangerous territory, which is what I did. You know, I was asking for something that I wasn't ready for. They say be careful what you wish for. I believe that. You know, we're pretty powerful. We can really manifest things pretty quickly. And if we're wishing for something that we're not ready for, then you're in for a crazy ride. That's my opinion. That's the lesson I learned from my first psychosis. My second one was a similar lesson, but it was softer. It was kind of like a reminder, like, hey, like, you know, easy does it. Don't force yourself to do things that you're not ready for. Yeah, don't push it. When it's ready, it'll just show up, you know. Just do your research. If you're interested, you know, do your research. You know, learn more about it. But when the time is right, the universe aligns it for you. That's my opinion, honestly. If you feel like you have to really force it to happen, like you have to go find the mushrooms or whatever you're going to do, and you have to go find the people and the setting that'll help you there, like, I wouldn't, it's not right. You're forcing something to happen. It's not an experience that you will know. Like, it's not an experience that you force. It's an experience that is gifted to you, that shows up on your path. And it's not going to be easy, you know, if it shows up on your path. There'll probably be parts that are like beautiful and stuff, but it's there to help you grow. It's not there to coddle you and to make you like happy, like, oh, this is amazing. You know, it's going to challenge you in the ways that it needs to challenge you. So just trust the process. And, you know, it's something you can pray or meditate on. But just know that the universe always gives you what you need to grow, no matter what. You know, if you're pushing too hard, the universe will push back, and it'll let you know. The harder you push, the harder the universe will push back. And you'll regret pushing so hard. You'll be like, oh shit, like, maybe let's not do that. I'm speaking from experience. And then there's other times that, you know, it's not about pushing, but it's about like motivation, about getting like, hey, like, this is something that I do want. There's a difference between not moving forward because of fear or insecurity, and then there's pushing forward because of insecurity and fear. Like, there's two different things. So you can sort of stay reserved because you're scared to move forward, and that's something that, you know, you can get stuck in. You're like, oh, I really want to do this thing, but I'm not really willing to put the work in, or I'm not really like willing, like, you're scared, you want it to be too perfect. And that's something that happens with my YouTube channel sometimes. I'm like, oh, like, you know, maybe I won't do a live stream because like I'm going to say things that aren't perfect and stuff. It's like, no, Hayden, just get on and just talk about stuff. And if people like it, that's cool. You know, that's my own insecurity, but just go on and do it. Whereas the other fear or insecurity is like, oh, I need this because it's going to heal me, or it's going to make me a better person. And like, I need this. And so then there's that insecurity of like, you want something that may not be right for you. You're trying to force something that isn't naturally coming into your life. And that's a different scenario, you know? And so that's kind of like the polar opposites. But the universe has a way of teaching us in different ways, you know? Like, some person might spend their whole life seeking money, and at the end of their life, they start to realize it's like, oh, wow, like, I spent my whole life like learning about money, the universe never really like pushed back. They may have given like little subtle hints or subtle cues to like help that person realize the lesson in that it's not about money, and it's only later in life that they figure out. Where if somebody does something that's really off of their life path and really like doesn't serve them for the highest good, the universe will push back real hard, really quick. You know, like it kind of depends on like what your life path is and what kind of lessons you came down to learn, I feel like. So if it's not congruent with your life path, then the universe will tell you like, hey, let's sit back down on this one because you're not ready for this, buddy. That's my opinion, at least. You know, I think our lives are pretty guided. Like the shape of our life, I feel like the shape of our life is pretty guided. The content of it can vary depending on our choices. But I think that we have lessons that we come down for. I don't know if we always learn the lessons that we came down for, but it's just like chipping away at something that we're trying to learn as a soul. You know, that's my opinion. This existence is just one, you know, tiny drop in the ocean of our existences, in my opinion. We'll always have more too, you know. This is just one of them. And they're all tied together. They're not separate. And if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. Like, that's just like my experience has sort of led me to believe that everybody's entitled to their own knowing and their own intuition, because, you know, who's for me to say that it's the right thing? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, self-production, how's it going? Yeah, I agree with you, Evan. The desired experience of psychedelics is a very fine line. Yeah, it is, because it's an intense experience, and to like want that is forced. What are thoughts about aliens? Okay, that's a good conversation. It's a good topic. My thoughts about aliens, they exist. I mean, they do. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it seems really arrogant to think that we are the only beings in the universe that are intelligent and that can have like any sort of I don't know, like to think that we're the most intelligent beings in the universe is ridiculous. Like, even to think that we're the most intelligent beings on this planet is ridiculous, to be honest. Because like, how do you measure intelligence? Like your ability to construct things and stuff like that. Okay, well, there's definitely other beings out there that can like construct things with more precision and like more creativity and stuff than we can. Definitely. The universe is like, I forget how old is it. I think it's like 13.6 billion years old, the known universe, at least. I'm pretty sure. The numbers might be off, but our Earth is only 4.6 billion years old. So like to think that like a later arising planet has the most intelligent force in the universe seems ridiculous. Like, it just seems ridiculous. I'm sure extraterrestrials have been to this planet before. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we are aliens. I don't know. Who knows? Like, I'm sure extraterrestrials have been to this planet before. It seems strange that they wouldn't. I can understand why they don't want to be seen, because like, you know, it's up to us to develop and grow and stuff like that. They don't want to intervene with our development, and maybe they're helping with our development on the background. Alien abductions, I don't know. Like, I can't speak on that. Like, I don't know about that. I haven't. It doesn't really like necessarily interest me because it hasn't really like affected me. I feel like it's a rabbit hole, and like if it's a real thing, then like, I don't know, it's a real thing. But I think the universe is a whole lot bigger than what we think it is or what we perceive it to be. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that that's a thing, but I think that people also, yeah, I feel like people are also really creative, and sometimes people create stories to get attention and stuff like that. So I don't know, because I feel like if they're intelligent beings, more intelligent beings than us, I feel like they'd be more compassionate and understanding and loving than us. I don't think they would necessarily be malicious and like trying to like control things and manipulate things. I could be wrong, there could be like beings that are super intelligent and are like malicious and stuff. I don't know, but it's a fat I don't know on that one. But I mean, I've watched Ancient Aliens and stuff like that. I don't ascribe to anything particular. It is interesting how the like the Egyptian temples and all that stuff, like that I don't know how they built them, but even like the Inca and the Mexican pyramids and stuff. It's interesting, but I don't really see how that stuff is going to help me live today. So I try to just focus on what's practical. And if those civilizations were from extraterrestrials at one point, they failed, they fell apart. So it wasn't meant to last. So it wasn't sustainable. So what we have now is like the best we have right now. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's very possible, that they're helping us out. I just don't know personally, I'm never one to like discredit something completely. I think that it's a possibility, but I can't like confirm or say like, yes, like I've spoken with the aliens and they've told me that, we're raising our consciousness, which I do think our consciousness is changing. I think that we're moving to a next sort of, if you just look at our generation, like our generation operates so much differently than like the past generation. By our generation, I mean like younger adults and younger kids, like the internet and things like that. Like the whole world is connected together. There's a sense of unity that has never happened. You just think about the internet, first of all. That's like such a major revelation that like the whole world has come together. That I think things are changing and people don't necessarily want to follow the rules anymore. It's not about the rules. It's like, what do you feel like you want to do? It's more moving into a state of resonance. And this is something that Psychic Medium talks about, that I know personally. And she, well, I'm not like good friends with her, but like I've had a session with her before. And I really resonate with what she said. She actually has a YouTube channel. If you want to check her out, her name's Julie North. I'll put that in the comments below. Her content's really, really amazing. So I would recommend it. If you guys are interested in consciousness and stuff like that, she's awesome. So I can actually put a link to her channel in the chat. She just did a bunch of different groups or a bunch of different videos. I would recommend the Pick My Brain video. That's the one I watched. She's amazing. She answers a lot of questions. And I'm sure you guys would be, if you're interested in what I talk about, you'd probably be really interested in what she says. So let me go ahead and link her channel in the chat. I would check her out for sure. She's awesome. She talks about the consciousness level and how it's changing and what that means and sort of why it's happening and stuff like that. It's really a good video. But maybe I'll talk about that at some point in future videos. I just don't like, some people get like really into like oh my God, the vibration is changing and we're all going to be like loving, compassionate beings. I'm just like, that's okay. Like things may be changing, but like not everybody's going to be like giving each other hugs and like loving each other. It's like the culture is changing. The way of the world is changing. And so like, you can see that, like, you don't have to be a genius to like figure that out. You don't have to be a psychic to figure that out. Like the change from like the 1900s to the 2000s has been like massive, very, very significant change. the Industrial Revolution was like huge. You know, that was a pretty quick change, but like just the mindset from then till now, like it's completely different. You know, it's like a new age, you know. It's a new era of what, you know, where consciousness is going, and what kind of culture and what kind of people we want to be in this world. So it's not all magically going to be like rainbows and ponies, you know, but it's changing, and people are becoming more aware, I think, because of the ability to consume information. Now it's a matter of like, how do you discern what information is worth pursuing? Like, what information is true information, and what information is like not substantiated with evidence and supported in a way that you know, makes sense for people. So I think that's kind of like the new wave that we're going into now, is about that, along with other things. But Julie North really goes into detail about that, and she's awesome. I would definitely recommend that. So, but anybody popping in, feel free to ask any questions for me. If nobody feels like they want to ask any more questions, then I might do a card reading for anybody who wants a card reading. It's something my teacher does when he does live streams. Anybody that wants a card pulled for them, I can pull a card for them. I haven't done that yet with you guys. I've done card readings at the end of videos, but I haven't done card readings for specific people yet. Have you seen Mind Mastery? No, what is that? Is that a movie? Let me look it up. Mind Mastery. It sounds like a program or something. Mind Mastery home study course. Project coaching psychologists focus on self-actualization and individual process, tools, resources on developing awareness, staying grounded in the present moment, increasing self-knowledge and understanding. Yeah. Mind Mastery, that channel's been helpful. Yeah, that looks like a good tool. Yeah, it's good to find things that work for you. Everybody has something that works for them, you know, and it's awesome. I really admire when people like take the time to go seek out information to be able to better themselves and to feel like they have the tools they need to feel like they're strong and supported, you know. Like, I still see a counselor. Counseling is really helpful for me, and that's something I really value, to have something to bounce, someone to bounce ideas off of. And I also, you know, study shamanism and things like that. Those are helpful for me to grow. So I'm glad that, you know, Mind Mastery has been helpful for you. That's awesome. So, all right. Well, seems like people don't necessarily have any more questions. So Emily Faust said she would like a card reading. Okay, so I've got 3 different decks here. So I'll let you choose. I've got the blue deck, the purple deck, or the yellow deck. So you get to choose what cards you want. Just let me know what color: blue, yellow, or purple. Just let me know, Emily. Blue. All right, cool. That's the most powerful deck for me. Not that the other ones aren't powerful, but I just have a very strong connection with this one. It's like my original deck. All right. So if you have anything that you're specifically thinking about or concerned about, sort of just hold that in your, you know, your intention or whatever, and I'll draw a card. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nura. I appreciate that. All the way from Melbourne. That's awesome. Yeah, I love making videos for you guys. It's really nice. I like just sharing myself authentically, you know. I try not to like have a lot of bullshit, you know. I just try to be honest and share with you guys and just let you know what's going on with me. So, all right, let's pull a card here. And I appreciate you guys watching and supporting me, you know. taking time out of your day to hang out with me. So I feel like I want to draw 2 cards. So I pulled 2 cards here. All right. So I have 2 cards here. One is She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. And the other one is Shaolin Master, Be Graceful in Movement and Action. So Emily, I feel like there's part of you that feels a little bit not necessarily caged, but you've kind of put things on the back burner. There's parts of you that have been kind of pushed to the side for I don't know what reason, but you want something to be able to be released to some degree, to be expressed, and you've kind of forgotten about this part of yourself because you've always been focused on something else, and so it's kind of lingering in the back. And so this card indicates to me that it's time to sort of look at those parts that maybe you've put on the side that really bring you joy and nourishment, and to allow those to come back out again, because those want to be expressed, those want to be recognized, and those want to be felt. And there's part of you that really wants that, but you've forgotten. And so to remember those parts and give those parts attention. And then the Shaolin Master, Be Graceful in Movement and Action, just allowing those things to flow. So these cards go together. So those parts of you that are kind of stuck or forgotten, allowing those to flow naturally into your life and allowing those to come out and express themselves in ways that you can just enjoy and not feel like a whole lot of pressure, and just allowing them to just manifest in a beautiful, sort of like a flower, like beautifully just kind of naturally just unfolds to the sun, just allowing it to happen and allowing the beauty to unfold. So allowing those parts of yourself that have been stuck to come out and to be seen, and do it with grace and ease, I guess. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that resonated for you. So yeah. Anybody else want some cards? Yep. Need in our world today, honesty and conscious intentions and awareness. Thank you, Nora. Yeah. That's what I try to do. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm not, I just try to be here for you guys and for myself, myself first. Obviously you got to take care of yourself. So, but, yeah, thank you. Anybody else want a card pulled for them? This is your chance. This is a free card reading, guys. Nobody got to pay for this shit. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm glad it resonated, Emily. Okay. So Nura wants one. I saw Nura first. All right. Let's pull from the bottom. I'm feeling the bottom card. Let's do one. I feel one card. Interesting. All right. So one card. Trust and Thrive, the Stag. So this is for Nura. So I sense that you have some doubts and fears. You're kind of unsure about things. You're kind of like, you're not sure whether to move forward, to move backward, to move sideways. You're kind of like, what is going on? And this card indicates to me that you need to let go of some of those fears. Just let those drop away and just feel confident in knowing that the universe is going to help you out, and knowing that you'll know the right answer. The mind has a way of distracting us and getting us stuck in these knots and all these worries and concerns. Just allow those to drop away and just know that you'll know when to make a decision. You'll know when to leave. You'll feel it. It'll be like indubitable. Like you'll know exactly like, okay, this is not right. I need to make a choice. I need to make a decision. But until you really feel that, you don't need to worry. Don't worry so much. You get stuck in these little panic attacks type things, these little fears, and just allow that to it's okay. It's going to be all right. It'll be okay. Just trust and know that the answers will be clear if you just trust in a greater force, trust in yourself that you can get through whatever you need to get through. So that's kind of what I feel, just trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting, and yeah, pretty much. So hopefully that resonated with you. That was a pretty interesting one. That was good. That resonate, Nura? If it doesn't resonate, tell me. You know, you don't have to be like, oh yeah, that was amazing. You could be like, that was completely off. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, you got this, Nura. You know, just trust in yourself. You got this. You're strong. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to get scared, but just know that you got this, and the universe has your back. Of course, Nura. My pleasure. All right, so Tao wanted a reading too. Awesome. Let's see. Does Stag have anything else to say? I feel like there's something else here. Love yourself, Nura. Know that you're worthy. You know, you can love yourself. It's okay. You don't have to like give always to other people. You know, you can take time and be like, hey, like I need a me day. You know, so yeah, you got this. All right. Cool beans. The Stag. So now we're going to Tao. No, not that one. Yeah, I guess so. 2 cards. 3 cards. I don't decide. I just get feelings. Well, I guess I do decide. Who knows? I don't know how this works. I just pull cards. Oh, we got Shaolin Master come out again. Okay, so now we've got Tao. We've got Winter. Take care of your needs. You got Shaolin Master. Be graceful in motion in your actions. And we've got Be the Light, White Witch. All right, so for some reason, I get the sense that you have a lot of responsibilities and you're a pretty strong person for the most part. Like you have kind of like not like a kind of a tough exterior, but like you have to play certain roles in order to, in the life that you're in. You have certain things that you sort of need to take care of and take care of other people to some degree. That's the feeling I get. And so it's important to remember that although you're taking care of other people and you're playing a role of like sort of a leader and a caretaker to some degree, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself too. That's something that's really important because sometimes you forget about you because you're so focused on the outside world and the things that you are responsible for. The other thing is the Shaolin Master, be graceful in your movement actions. Sometimes you feel like things need to be a certain way, need to be structured in a certain way, need to be done in a certain way. And so it's important for you to realize that sometimes it doesn't always need to be the way you want it to be. It can just be the way it needs to be, you know, just allow things to be the way it is, allow things to unfold gracefully. And sometimes when you put your hand in the pot too much, it gets harder. And so if you sort of move away and allow things to play out a little bit more gracefully, then it's going to be a little bit easier for you to navigate through things, and it'll be more graceful for yourself as well because you won't feel as burdened down by it. And then the other thing is, since you do have a lot of responsibility and roles and you're sort of in a lot of people's lives, sort of taking care of them, but also in positions where people look up to you to some degree, and you might not even realize that people look up to you. Just be the light, you know, just be your best self. This isn't like me pressuring you, but like just allow your light to shine from within you. Allow your light to just come through, like your love, your care for people, your respect for people and stuff like that, your respect for yourself, you know, like when you treat yourself with love and respect, it's going to show to other people as well. And so just allowing that to come through and to impact other people, but also first of all, to impact yourself, to feel like you have a holy temple, having some sort of ceremony or some kind of space for yourself that you can feel nourished and loved. That's important for you, so I don't know if that resonated. I don't know if like the whole responsibility things was right or not. Yeah, I don't know. Was it close, or was I completely off base? I'm curious. You can tell me if I'm wrong, because like, it's good for me to have feedback and know, how it can be better. You helping your grandma? Yeah. You don't know what to do. That's tough, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I got the feeling that you kind of take care of a lot of people, Yeah, just make sure you're taking care of yourself, because that's the most important. I mean, you're making a big impact. I think it's important for you to take care of those people and to like help in the ways you can, but sometimes you just gotta, remember to keep your sacred space as well. Don't let that boundary sort of fall down too much and get like stuck in the pot, It's important. So, but you seem like a pretty strong person to me, honestly. Like you feel pretty solid. Like there's some things that you're insecure about, and there's some things that you're struggling with, but I feel like you're, yeah, I feel like you have, there's something in you that's very solid that runs deeper, and you're running from that place. Like there's a deep part of you that really can help a lot of people and can make a big difference. And so being able to nourish that and really connect with that and allow that to expand and help others is awesome, because I think that you have the ability to help others too, but you just have to remember to take care of yourself. So yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Well, it's kind of the way it is sometimes for people. Like there's a deep part of themselves that like is strong and powerful. And sometimes it's hard to see that for yourself when you don't connect with it and you don't like identify with it. So taking time for yourself to acknowledge that part of yourself is going to help you to feel more strong and more identified with your purpose and how you're going to help people and yourself. So you got it, man. Just keep it up, lady. I don't know, woman. I don't know what your gender is, but you got this. So, all right, I have time for one more reading. If anybody wants one more reading, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do one more reading for somebody. I hope that all the readings that I've done so far have been helpful and resonated for you guys. I really enjoy doing them. So, and if you want a full reading with me, you can let me know. Just hit me up on Instagram. I'd be happy to do like a full reading with a full spread to give you an idea of where you're at and stuff. Yeah. Okay, Jackrabbit, sure. Absolutely. Do you feel content with your reading, Todd? Do you have any questions about the reading at all? Before I go on to Jackrabbit or Jake Rabbit? All right. All right, cool. Well, that one came out. 2 cards. Yeah, 2 cards only. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to do anything. Just sit there and I'll read. Just have an intention of like what you'd like to have answered. I'm just going to sort of give you a reading, I guess, based off of what I feel. So I've got 2 cards that dropped. So first one is honor your medicine woman, honor your inner knowing. So I don't know, like how much you've explored spirituality or like explored yourself and like your existence. Um, but I get the feeling that you're kind of a seeker, like you want to understand things and you want to learn more, and you're trying to sort of um, understand what it means to be alive in this world. And the cards want you to know that like you have a lot of inner knowing, that you know a lot already. You've experienced quite a bit already. Like, I don't know if you believe in past lives or soul or whatever, but like you've had a lot of experience to some degree. Everybody has, but like in this life, you know things and you don't even know where you know them from, and you're gonna have some of that unfold more and more as your life goes on. You're gonna understand things, and you're gonna start to um, wake up to some degree and realize that like you're more than just this physical body. You're more than just this, this life even. There's so much more than that. And you have already a lot of that information to honor that and respect that, and to know that when you're looking for answers, you're really just looking to remember the things that you already know. And just knowing that and respecting that. And this other card came out. This card that came out was face up, so it's kind of just like it was there. This, I get a different feeling from this card. This is kind of just like recognizing you, being like, hey, like you have this knowledge, you know it. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you know a lot, man. Like you have the answers already, and you'll learn more as you go. It's there. This is different though. This is a card sort of to give you guidance on where you are currently in your life. So this is the Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. So this is basically a card that to me is giving you basically it's pretty straightforward. Like let go of the need to be right. Like you don't need to know what's right in your life. Like you don't need to be like, how do I explain this? You can't know anything. Like you have this inner knowledge, you know a lot, but also you don't know. So like don't feel like you're right because you understand a certain concept or idea. It's possible that you're wrong, don't get too stuck in the idea of knowing, but be more in the state of not knowing and curiosity and wanting to learn and wanting to be open. Because there's a tendency when you get a lot of information, when you know a lot of things, there's a tendency to basically be like, I know the answers and I have all the answers and this is the way to be. But that's not always the case, because there's many different ways to be. If there wasn't, then there wouldn't be so much variety and diversity in the world. So just remembering that like your way may not be the right way for other people, and remembering that it's important to be open to other people's way of living as well, and other perspectives. So yeah, pretty much. I think that's all I've got for that. So this was kind of just like a little, little psychedelic trip there. Like, hey, remember, you don't know everything. You know some things, but there are many, many, many answers out there that you don't know too. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad it resonated with you. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm glad you guys, came and spent some time with me. It means a lot that you guys like came and spent some of your day with me. It's really nice to sort of have a community and talk with you guys. So I appreciate you coming out. And I hope that you enjoyed spending time with me as well. And, I wish you guys a great evening. And as always, guys, make sure to seek your truth and to take time for yourself. And I may be doing live streams again. I don't know. I really like doing the live stream stuff. So I may be doing that more. just because I get to interact with you guys. It's more fluid and flowing, and I feel like I can just be myself. So yeah. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Yeah, I'm in Ohio too, Jackrabbit. Yeah. So, all right. And if you guys have any questions for me that you didn't want to ask me on this on the live stream, feel free to message me on Instagram. I'd be happy to answer. Sometimes I don't get the messages right away, but I always answer everybody that messages me at some point. So feel free to reach out. So yeah. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you later. Have a great evening. Love you guys. Bye.